So I'm going to talk about the germination process. Now, in the germination process, an embryonic root first emerges. So you can see the root developing over here, and this is going to absorb the water, which also contains minerals that have dissolved into the water. Within the seed, there was something known as the plumule, and this contains immature leaves. Now, it will go upwards because it grows towards the light, and eventually it forms a more mature shoot system. Now, within the seed, there is something known as the condylotomes, and this is an initial food source for the embryo, and they may sometimes go above the actual seedling. Now, there's two types of plants I want to go through, is dicot and monocot. In dicot, you can see that they have two of them and they are packed with nutrients. With a monocot, you only have one of them. And with the monocot, you also have something called endosperm inside the actual seed. And this is a further nutrient source. Now, in germination, what happens is enzymes are breaking down these food sources into energy, something in a usable energy form that they could actually use to grow. And what happens is water goes inside the seed, it swells up, and then it breaks through the seed coat. Now, the first thing that pierces through the seed coat is the ridicule, which is over here. The ridicule comes along, and this grows downwards towards gravity, and the plumule grows towards the sunlight, away from the gravity. Now, once the plumule goes upwards and it's in the light, it unfolds its leaves, so its leaves comes outwards and they begin to photosynthesize. So it then shifts from breaking down nutrients into usable form to now creating its own nutrients, creating its own glucose. Before, it had to depend on enzymes breaking down the energy reserves into a usable energy form that they could actually use. But now, once the plumule actually blossoms up and the leaves space out and begin to photosynthesize, now they can create glucose. And some seeds remain dormant until the conditions are correct. And we'll talk about the conditions later on. So within these codolants are food sources. So usually in the form of starch, which is what glucose is stored as well as protein. This is why when you eat seeds, you could actually get they are considered a protein source. Now with dicots, usually the seedlings are bigger because they have two codolants inside them, whereas monocots only have one of them. So they are going to usually be smaller. So monocots are usually things like grass, orchids, as well as in monocot, they have that endosperm, which I talked about. And the endosperm within the cell, there's an endosperm is rich in starch. And both dicots and monocots use enzymes to convert these food sources into a usable energy source. And this is vital for the initial stages before it could actually photosynthesize.